Hey, what's up? It's the Wandering Slav on his way to get some exercise. It's all good. I'm back with the family. I made amends and had a good old talk with the wife. And everything is fine, everything is okay. But we're not going to leave it like that. We are going to improve things. And I took those 2 days I spent at my mom's to think long and hard about what I could improve, how I can become better, and I came up with a few. One thing I'm going to do, for example, is I'm going to attend AA meetings. I love alcohol. I love it a little too much. I don't think I'm an alcoholic. I can live without alcohol. I don't have withdrawal symptoms or whatever, but once I start drinking, it's difficult for me to stop. And my wife thinks it's a problem, and I was thinking about this, and yeah, I got myself into a lot of stupid situations. Got a DUI charge like 5 years ago. Couldn't land a job at the police force a few months back because of this, and just like a lot of stupid stuff. So yeah, I'm going to contact them today and see what's up. If it's going to work, fine, and if not, well, it's an experience. And almost every experience is a good experience. So yeah, it's a new week, it's a new game. The cards are shuffled again at the beginning. It's all good. We are up to 21 subscribers. Honestly, I just didn't realize it until now, and I'm so positively surprised. I can't believe people are actually listening to this rant, but well, good taste is not accounted for. Thank you. We cracked the magical 20. Next goal's 30. We gotta go up to 30. Good friend of mine actually requested to share my favorite travel experience in the comment section. So, how did you put it? My happiest travel experience, my most memorable one? Honestly, I don't remember, but yeah, something about a memorable travel experience. So yeah, here it goes. I traveled a lot in my past. I can't really think about something that sticks out because there's just so many. But yeah, one thing is actually popping in my head. It's not exactly a happy travel experience, but it's definitely an interesting one. So I was in Ukraine in winter, and I took the train from Odessa to Crimea back in 2009, back when Crimea was open. And I'm a Slav. I mean, I look very Eastern European right now, but back then I didn't. I mean, like, I had this big, huge traveler's backpack. I had Western clothing. I had long, dyed hair. Didn't look anything like a local, so I stuck out. And I took the cheapest ticket. So for all of you who don't know, if you take Eastern European trains, you can take the most expensive ticket. You're going to have a room for yourself or for your travel partner, or you can share. That's the next step down. You can share a ticket. You can buy a ticket and share the coupe with another traveler, or you can go all the way to Platzkarte. That's what I actually call it, Platzkarte. It's funny, it's a German word, but yeah, it's basically you are in with everybody. You're sharing the train with everybody. It's like, have you seen those old Wild West movies where settlers are in the train, they're all shoved in together and they're like heading out west? So yeah, it's the same thing. So that's what I took. And it's actually my first time I entered one of those trains, and I was a little worried, about pickpocketing and whatnot. So I kept my things with me. And yeah, and maybe a few seats away from me were those guys this Ukrainian, Russian, whatever guys. And one of them, tall, large guy, maybe 2 heads taller than me, was particularly drunk. So anyway, so they called me over. I mean, like, what am I supposed to do? So yeah, I came over. And hold on, the guy doesn't see me driving. And they're like, where you from? And it's like, I'm from Germany. And they're like, why do you speak Russian? It's like, well, I'm a Ukrainian by blood, and that's the language my parents taught me. And they're like, you want to drink with us? I was like, yeah, sure. And I was sitting next to the tall drunk guy, between the tall drunk guy and his not so drunk, smaller friend. And below the table, they had this duffel bag. And I opened the duffel bag, and it was full with vodka bottles and sala. Sala is basically pork fat. It's just pork fat is what people eat in Ukraine. It's a delicacy. Pork fat and sheep cheese and whatnot. So they made a whole food table out of the train. So we've been drinking and shot after shot after shot. I can't believe I'm telling the story after mentioning I'm planning to go to an AA meeting. Anyways, so drinking. And I was smoking back then, so you weren't actually allowed to smoke inside the train, but between those train carts, places, rooms, whatever, there were like this little in-between space. So you were allowed to smoke back then. I don't know about now. So anyway, so I went with the tall drunk guy. Let's call him the Neanderthal. Still don't know his name until now. And we smoked a few. And he asked me questions. He's like, what do you do? And I was like, I'm studying medicine in Chisinau. He's like, Chisinau, Moldova? It's like, yeah. And he's like, what are you doing, this shithole? And I thought it unwise to mention that there are a lot of shitholes in Ukraine too, so I just kept my mouth shut. I was like, it happened. And he was like, I have connections to the university in Odessa, let me call the professor there. Now keep in mind, it was 1 a.m., 1 at night, tall guy, looked like a homeless person, was bald, had this gigantic scar across his head, drunk out of his ass. He wanted to call the professor of the University of Odessa. I was like, sure, call him, why not? So he called whoever he was calling, didn't pick up, no one picked up. He's like, bastard. I was like, oh well, it was meant to be. And then we've been talking, and he asked me where I'm heading. I was like, Simferopol. And he's like, oh great, I'm going there too. And I was like, oh yeah, great, what are you doing there? You're from Simferopol? And he's like, no, I'm visiting my girlfriend. And I'm like, oh, that's so nice. And he's like, yeah, actually I hate her, I want to kill the bitch. I was like, okay. That's, I'm not going to mention that. I'm not going to say anything. That's like, let's just roll with it. And then he mentioned, oh wait, hold on a second. My girlfriend actually knows the professor of the university I was trying to call before. So let me call her and ask her. I was like, the girlfriend you're actually planning to kill? I was like, yeah, that girlfriend. It's like, okay, that's weird, but go ahead. And he called a number and heard a female's voice in the background from the phone, and couldn't exactly hear what she was saying, but she didn't sound too happy. He cussed her out in Russian and hung up, and he's like, I'm gonna kill her, I'm gonna kill her, I'm gonna kill the bitch. I was like, Mel, maybe you should depart. And the rest of the night was just a blur. I honestly have no idea how I survived that night and that Ukrainian train with those crazies, but yeah, it was a blur, but it was definitely a night to remember. So I think that was one of my crazier travel experiences. Anyways, that's it for today. I know the channel was in the last 2 weeks, it was a little dark and I wasn't really in a good space, but we're going to make this better. We're going to try to make it lighter. Hit me up if you want to talk to me. If you want me to talk about something, hit me up in the comment sections. And subscribe if you want to. I'd like that. And promise you all I'm going to work on my content. Well, you guys take care of yourself. I'm almost at my exercise place. Bye bye.